SummerSlam 2025 Night 2 review. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some freaking wrestling, huh?
Yeah, Triple H had said after night one, you ain't seen nothing yet. And he was right with that statement, I would say.
Absolutely crazy night of wrestling. I want to shout out our stream, though. It was the most successful stream since we started being a podcast. It's because of you, the community. Absolutely incredible. So thank you all for being there. And if you've never been there before, check out Raw because we'll be on Raw. But let's get into it. Triple H, like you just pointed out, he started off the show and he said, if you thought last night was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. And like you just said, we ain't seen nothing yet, right? This review is going to be a little different because the night was so crazily packed of stuff that it's almost impossible to do the play-by-play that we normally do on this podcast. So we will do our best, but we're probably going to give a annotated, noted version of everything that happened. We started, though, with the Women's World Championship match. Rhea and Io, they started off night 2 of WrestleMania. They're now starting off the night of WrestleMania, or Hot WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and with Rhea, Io, and Naomi. Naomi got a fantastic entrance. Her dad was on guitar. Couldn't have hated on that. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
This match, a lot of it was Naomi pissing off the team of Rhea and Io. So Naomi right away gets out of the ring. Rhea and Io are like, no, we're not going to have that. And then Naomi gets a ton of offense in throughout the match on both of them, which I thought was a phenomenal little touch on the match and the production of the match because she was kind of handicapped for the beginning of this match. She was kind of up against Rhea and Io at the same time, and she held her own, so that was absolutely great. We would get just a bunch of shenanigans in the middle, though. I mean, these three absolutely do the greatest things ever, but like we said earlier, it's going to be impossible to cover every single note throughout the whole thing. But eventually, we would get Rhea Ripley on the top rope, holding Io Sky while Naomi's on the outside of the ring, and she would go for a top rope riptide, and she hit it on Io, and she got like all the way across the ring, man. I mean, she went from the back right corner almost all the way to the front left corner with it. She rolls up Io Sky for the pin. She's finally gonna overcome Io Sky when Naomi runs up there, rolls up Rhea Ripley. Because it's a triple threat, there are no disqualifications. Good point out by Michael Cole. Pulls the tights up on Rhea during the pin. 1, 2, 3. Naomi is able to defeat Io Sky and Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. She remains champion, but Rhea was this close to defeating Io Sky, so all stories are great here. This was a pop.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect way to start out the night. Perfect choice. I love the way that they kind of booked the match. They had Rhea and Io kind of teaming up, which was nice. Two faces versus the heel, and you even had them both doing the head point thing, the Io Sky thing. Overall, just great stuff. I mean, not much more to really say. It was nice to see Naomi kind of remind people how good she is in the ring. I think maybe a lot of people have kind of forgotten that. So that was awesome to see. And then you obviously had the roll up, the tights. You almost had Rhea just almost, able to dethrone Io there, or I guess finally beat Io. Just a chef's kiss in terms of the opening match. Like, wouldn't change anything about it. The whole thing was just picture perfect.
Yeah, it was great. The Naomi should have won this match and did win this match, so I'm glad WWE didn't overthink it in that aspect of things. But adding the story beats that I really liked of Naomi being able to handle herself against both Rhea and Io, that makes her look like a really competent champion. I really, really liked that. And then adding the sprinkles on top with Rhea being able, she was going to beat Io Sky tonight, so you can immediately roll off into that story. Maybe you just do a blood feud between them and just settle who's the better woman after this. I'm not sure. We'll get into what we think is going to happen down the road on a different show other than right now. But Naomi winning, you have the Rhea Io beats. I just think it's perfection. Naomi's now your champion. She looks very competent, so I just think that this match was just perfect in every aspect of it. Just perfect.
Yeah, and then Naomi obviously has to defend next against Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris, which is about a month away. So obviously a little bit of time to kind of build some stuff up now. So
yeah, Stephanie, Naomi, hell yeah, man. It's going to be great. We did move on, though, to easily the most convoluted, amazing match of the night. I mean, this was Incredible. It was a tag team TLC match. I mean, there were freaking 6 tag teams. There were tables, there were ladders, and there were chairs. If you want us to discuss every single spot, it's impossible. We'll be here till the sun comes up. So if you can check this match up or just highlights of it, I encourage you to do so. But we did have the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, the champions Wyatt Six, Rey Fenix and Andrade, Fraxium, and the Street Profits were in this match. And like I said, I mean, you start the match off in a TLC match, and on the outside of the ring, they have all the ladders, all the tables, all the chairs set up. They had 50 tables tonight. I mean, it was absolutely just insane. Just off the top of my head, you had stuff like all the tag teams attacked the Wyatt Six right away, which was cool because how we got here was basically all the tag teams saying, you know, what are we going to do with the Wyatt Six? We have to team up to defeat them. We can't beat them at their own game. So they touch on that story right away. And then you just had all the shenanigans of all the tables getting broken throughout the match. You had, I think it was Rey Fenix did a Spanish fly to Montez Ford, or not Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins.
Axiom did one too.
Axiom did it to Angelo Dawkins from the top rope through the outside table. Things were going nuts throughout this match. Eventually, though, you would get the women coming in. So Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano's real-life wife, she came out to help DIY. And there was a ladder in the middle of the ring and then a ladder set up on the outside of the ring, right? How we all love to do it, propped up on the announce table. Shenanigans would happen in there to where the Wyatt Six pushed Ciampa into Gargano, into the ladder, which Candice LeRae was on. She falls through the ladder. She eats a ridiculous spot there. I mean, that was absolutely insane. You had DIY on the top of the ladder as well, and then Rey Fenix and Andrade, they got like the Spanish fly from the top of the ladder through the ladder. Things were going crazy, but eventually, when we thought Rey Fenix and Andrade were going to do the incredible and win the tag team championship, you did have Gacy and Dexter Lumis come out there, smack them with the chairs, and go up there and steal the tag team championships. Like I said, we can't do this one full justice because of how crazy it was. Go watch it. This was a classic TLC match, and I'm popping the hell out of it. Wyatt Six remain champ.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. You had a really cool spot with Ciampa, like Spider-Man hanging on the titles, and then Rowan and Howdy and Nikki Cross and B-Fab, they all get involved. I mean, just everybody's going everywhere. Dudleys and Hardys were ringside for this, so that was kind of cool. That was cool. 25th anniversary for that. Yeah, I'm going to pop the match. I thought the match was great. The winner, though, it's kind of like, we had talked a little bit about like 5 out of the 6 teams for us would have been the right call. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's the wrong call. WWE, I think at times knows better than you or I, right? So they obviously have some sort of plan, especially with the haunted house thing opening up. So probably like a promotional, thing, no big deal there. But you can tell the crowd was a little bit upset with it. And I think we talked a little bit about it. The Wyatts would fit really well on Raw, where the Raw side is a lot more character-driven than the SmackDown side. A lot of the SmackDown tag scene is just, hey, balls to the wall. All these matches are going to go crazy. It's going to be chaos, absolutely. Yeah. So they're kind of stick out a little bit, and sometimes for the worse. But we'll try to be positive. We'll see kind of what happens with this. Fantastic, nonstop match, kind of like we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to complain about the winners because I'm not that much of a Wyatt Six fan, sorry. Like Brandon said, we had, like I said, there was 100 different spots in this match. We did have, like, Howdy get involved, Rowan got involved. So, it took all of the Wyatt Six to really get the job done at the end of the day. It was just one of those things to where the last 10 minutes of the match were so high-paced, with so many high spots that the Wyatts weren't really involved in when it came to taking the brunt of the spots, to where when that moment happened, when Dexter Lumis and Gacy got the advantage, the crowd was kind of like, really? Oh, like after everything that we've seen, all these high flyers, all these fantastic athletes, after they've done all that, it felt like, the Wyatts got up there and kind of stole the titles, which if you are going to lean into like the heel aspect of the Wyatt Six, that works. So we can go down that line, but today it did feel like the crowd was a little bit let down. But in terms of the TLC match as a whole, man, these guys are all stars. The SmackDown Tag Division is one of one, really, in terms of athleticism and the way they are able to live up to the moment in these type of matches. They were finally given the opportunity on a big-time PLE to show themselves, and they absolutely showed out, and I'm just ecstatic for them because I feel like that was the main, that was the main note that we needed to hit. Like, you are given the moment, live up to it. They did. So I'm not going to be pissed about the Wyatt Six winning.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is if they do decide, I mean, they're obviously leaning more into the heel thing with them. I would like some heelish promos from them. I know they've kind of hinted at it with some of their actions, but the whole thing with the Wyatt Six is their reasoning, their voices, their promo ability, like things like that. So I would like some heel promos from them. Maybe Howdy on SmackDown, maybe he cuts a heel promo or something.
100%. We should get more promo work from them. Then, after that, man, a lot of people in the chat today were saying, like, how the hell are you going to follow up that TLC match? Like, the crowd was on their feet for 90% of the match. Like, how in the world? This is normally when people go to the bathroom, they go get some merch, all that good stuff. And then they ran out there with the women's intercontinental title match with Lyra Valkyria taking on Becky Lynch in the no DQ whatever match where if Lyra loses, she cannot challenge for Becky's IC title again. And, I mean, I'm going to clap before we even talk about it. Yeah. This was spectacular from in-ring perspective, from story perspective. The only drop of the match was Becky's new theme song. Hated that thing. Tron was really good, but her new theme song sucks. I'm going to put it out there. That was pretty bad. This thing was absolutely incredible, though. From the get-go, we had weapons. We had them knowing each other's moves. We had all the beats. And then eventually, Becky Lynch ties Lyra Valkyria's hands up with some zip ties, which is always a sticky thing when it comes to wrestling, right? Because, if you don't have your hands, how are you going to be safe? Well, they were like, Lyra, you're not going to be safe. You're just going to get the crap kicked out of you for the next 10 minutes. I mean, she zip tied her and then tied her up against the post and beat her with a kendo stick. She brought out a toolbox, beat her with the toolbox, was hitting her with she put Lyra's head in like the back of a chair where your back goes, like the little hole in between your back and your butt on the chair. And she slammed her against the announce table and the barricade and the ring post. Becky was killing this woman. Absolutely insane. Eventually, Lyra Valkyria does go underneath the ring and find a way to get out of the handcuffs or the zip tie. People are going to talk about how they took a bump and her hand came out on accident and she put it back in. I don't care. We're just going to talk about it for a moment. I don't care.
Maybe they broke. Yeah, either way.
Who cares? She got it out later on in the match, and then things went absolutely sideways because Becky had a chair and Lyra had a crowbar, and Lyra was going to win that thing. But Becky ends up turning it on her. She grabs the crowbar, has Lyra down, and she has the crowbar above her head about to dismantle and destroy Lyra Valkyria. And that's when Bayley shows up. And she takes the crowbar from Becky, and that's when Becky and Bayley have a good conversation. And Becky's like, she's done just as much wrong to you as she has me. Do it, Bayley. Do it, Bayley. Do it. And all of us were sitting there like, a lot of us called a Bayley heel turn. Is it about to happen? No. Bayley attacks Becky Lynch, beats her up, even puts Becky on the table so that Lyra can come over after she gets her hand out and jump on Becky through the table.
And she's out of the chair because she's wedged in that chair on the ground.
She is wedged in the chair. She gets out of the chair, gets out of her handcuffs or whatever, and puts Becky through the table. Anyway, we get into the ring, and Bayley is on the outside wrapping her hand in a chain that Becky also used throughout this match because this match is a 5-star and you should watch it. Anyway, we send Becky into the ropes. Lyra approaches the ropes to hit Becky. Becky ducks. Bayley punches Lyra in the face with her chain knuckle. Becky hits the manhandle slam, I believe, or some sort of finisher. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch beats Lyra Valkyria, remains Intercontinental Champion because Bayley messes up and smacks Lyra in the face and costs her the match. This was absolutely incredible, man. I think technically the match of the night, Pop.
Yeah, I would agree as well. Pop as well. Yeah, so far you're 3 for 3 in terms of fantastic matches to really kind of open up the night. Fantastic stuff. This was the trilogy, the last part of this great trilogy between Becky and Lyra, and it delivered on every aspect. I mean, there was the brutality. You had the slow, methodical kind of pace at the beginning to give the crowd some time to kind of relax after the TLC, get their wins back up, and then they kind of brought them back up towards the end. The Bayley stuff, I mean, you have the accidental will she, won't she, I guess, right? Then she chooses, and then the accidental punch, right? Maybe you can really kind of lean into that. They've hinted at that with the Lyra and the Bayley disconnect, so we're doubling down on that. I'm super excited for that. I'm excited for Becky Lynch to have the title because now Becky can go on and elevate somebody else. Who's the next one that Becky can elevate? Overall, just a perfect match, a perfect end to this feud that I didn't want to end. But if it does have to end, which, all feuds do, this was the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, we We had said that we think Becky was going to win this match with a Bayley heel turn. Not quite what we got here, but we're getting the same outcome in terms of Bayley and Lyra are definitely going to go off and finish this off in their own feud, a blood feud of some sort, which I have full confidence in both of them to, without a title, still put on a feud that all of us are completely bought into and will be a classic, sort of like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre did last year. So I'm looking forward to that. And on the other side, I'm very much looking forward to this heel Becky Lynch doing the exact thing that she just did with Lyra and bringing up a talent that has it, but just needs a little bit of poking in the side to really get that full potential out of. I don't know what name you would throw into that hat right away. I'm going to say someone like a Kyrie, someone like a, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to whatever that's going to be. So I'm very happy with the outcome in this match. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, just in terms of story, in terms of in-ring, in terms of brutality, like you said, this was everything you could ask for a final match between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. I mean, that's a A+ feud, one for the books, man. And the IC title is now cemented as one of the top titles in WWE. I absolutely love every second of it.
Yeah, now if we could do the same thing that we did with the IC title, the women's IC title, to the women's US title and kind of legitimize that. Have a great feud for that.
100%.
Sign me up. Yeah, and if you guys have any names that you want Becky to face now, go ahead and drop those in the comments because
maybe a call up.
We're pretty much searching. Yeah, maybe
a call up. I don't know. Before we go, move your mic up a little bit. There we go. Want to make sure we're hearing you fully.
This guy's sitting here acting like I don't know how to talk to a mic. I've been talking to the mic the same way the whole time.
US title match, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, steel cage.
Mm-hmm.
This one was something. We had a great night of SummerSlam night 1, but there was a little bit of a hiccup in the middle, and it was called Sami Zayn Karrion Kross. Unfortunately, I think that the Solo Sikoa Jacob Fatu match was our Sami Zayn Karrion Kross of night 2.
Yep.
The cage lowers, and it was hard to follow up. We just had the TLC match and the Lyra match, which was full of emotion, and people were at this point ready for a breather. So obviously they were fighting a crowd that wasn't particularly ready to get back on their feet. So that, obviously takes away from the match at the beginning. But Solo kind of dominates the beginning of this match, and some stuff happened. There was this spot probably 5 minutes into it where Jacob Fatu hops up and hits 2 of his patented moonsaults onto Solo Sikoa and nails him and goes for the pin, and Solo kicks out. And even Michael Cole goes, I don't think anybody's kicked out of the Jacob Fatu moonsault. And it was like, oh, so we're 5 minutes into this match and Solo's already kicking out of moonsaults after we've seen Solo lose a lot of times in his career to lesser than that. I don't know how I really feel about that plot point. But then right after that, the MFT comes out. So Tala Tonga, Tonga Loa, and what's the other one? JC Mateo, exactly, right? Me not knowing his name. That's exactly the point here. They come out and they kind of cause some shenanigans, but not really, because Big Jim comes out to help Jacob Fatu, and he super kicks JC and Tonga Loa, but then Tala Tonga handles Big Jim. And in the middle of the ring, we have Solo wanting to leave the ring, but Jacob's keeping it in. There's no really big storyline or big moments happening in the match. We just kind of have overall muddiness happening.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Tonga Loa and Tala Tonga climb the cage, though, and kind of distract Jacob Fatu for a moment while he takes care of them. And while that's happening, Solo is army crawling his way out of the ring. Jacob's able to kick them off, but they're okay because they land. He doesn't hurt them. And Jacob is trying to stop the Solo as he's leaving the ring through the door, right? And Tala Tonga walks on over to the door.
You even forgot the part. Tala Tonga handcuffs Jacob Fatu.
Oh, he does. He handcuffs Jacob Fatu. Sorry, this was how fast this went. Tala Tonga handcuffs Jacob Fatu to the top of the steel cage as Solo's army crawling out. But literally within 30 seconds, Jacob just snaps out of the handcuffs, which feels like a very cool moment until what's about to happen. So he breaks out the handcuffs, runs over to the ropes to stop Solo Sikoa from getting out of the cage. And then Tala Tonga walks over and just slams the door on Jacob Fatu's face, and Fatu falls back and Solo escapes.
Yeah, maybe he boots it. Yeah, I can't.
I don't know. He slams the door in one way, shape, or form. And Solo was more in front of Jake. It looked like Solo took the brunt of the door more. I don't know. I'm not going to discuss that really, but So Tala Tonga is able to cost Jacob Fatu, slams his head into the door, and Solo is able to escape. Solo remains the U.S. champion, and even the crowd was like, what did we just watch? But to give the fans something, they had JC Mateo and Tonga Loa go back into the ring. Jacob was able to hit a high, he hit a moonsault off the top of the steel cage, which is awesome. I'm not taking away from that. I love that. That's a high spot. Crazy spot for his size. Incredible, amazing, awesome. But like this match was muddy nothing, really. It felt like a glorified SmackDown main event that I feel like we'd be disappointed with even if we got it there. I'm going to drop the hell out of this. I really didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected from the match. You had made a good point, which we kind of alluded to in our prediction videos, that MFT doesn't really feel threatening in any shape or form, and they didn't really tonight. I mean, Big Jim kind of took out two of them. But the story is kind of Tala Tonga is the one you can't keep down, so you need some sort of monster or something to, I don't know, combat him of some way, shape, or form. Just a clustered, muddied mess of something that like was not enjoyable. Solo retains, so I'm assuming we're gonna keep running this back. We were gonna run it back really, regardless of whoever won, right? But just overall a bad match, and like I'm not even excited for what's to come. Yeah, I'm not even looking forward to it. Like I have not like just yeah.
I had a fantastic 2 nights of SummerSlam, and we have so much more to talk about tonight. This feels like the Karrion Kross stuff yesterday, where I'm just sitting here like I don't even want to talk about it. Like I'm so out on it, and it sucks because I love Fatu and I love Solo Sikoa. Like as he's escaping the cage and Jacob is pulling his foot back today, he's making all these faces. I mean, he's gold. Solo Sikoa is gold. MFT's awful. I'm not bought in on Tala Tonga. Jacob Fatu went from being this unstoppable dynamite force, and then he turned face, and since then it's been like, where is Jacob Fatu? Like, it doesn't feel like we're really getting Jacob Fatu in these matches, man. I mean, I don't really have much more to say. I wish I had more in-depth opinions on this one. I'm kind of a loss for words. This felt like the second they rang the bell, I was like, why did this happen here? Like, guys like LA Knight are missing this card for this? Like, this is what you're putting in front of me? I didn't like it at all. I really have nothing nice to say. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all, right? So yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. Didn't like this, and I'm not looking forward to what's next for Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Really, I'm not.
Yeah, we could have just taken this off the card. Yep. Or like you said, there were other more deserving people, I would feel like, and something. So
let's move it on, though. Intercontinental title, Dom Mysterio, AJ Styles. Dom comes out first. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. The set to the SummerSlam was incredible. Yep. AJ Styles comes out in a lowrider with Eddie Guerrero gear, his long pants, Eddie Guerrero style, with his son in the lowrider, and it had hydraulics. And his son, the chat pointed out today, his son had a buzz cut and all blonde. He kind of looked like a young Dom. I mean, he's obviously much older than a young Dom, but he looked like he had the young Dom look going on. So good stuff was happening here.
Yeah,
good stuff was happening. This match was very fast-paced. AJ would taunt right away. It was very much, AJ said, Unk's going to have to teach you a lesson. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like AJ was trying to big Unk over Dom Mysterio for most of this match. We did have a cool little spot where a lot of this match, they did try to tap into the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio history of Dom's family, right? And so AJ would go for like a 5-star frog splash. I guess not 5-star. He'd go for a Eddie Guerrero frog splash, right? Dom would get his knees up, turn it into a 619, but then AJ would get his knees up and hit his finisher on Dom. We get the 1-2 or the calf crusher as well. Eventually, though, Dom would expose the turnbuckle just to get the ref to check on the turnbuckle, and he'd go and he'd get the chair, Eddie Guerrero style. He'd smack the ground with the chair, throw it at AJ. Hit the floor, right? Oh my God, AJ hit me. But the ref's still working on the turnbuckle, and AJ's like, screw it. He puts the chair around his neck. He hits the floor. So when the ref turns around, he's like, what the hell happened here? And AJ's like, he hit me with the chair. And Dom's like, no, you hit me with the chair. So it was a great Eddie Guerrero callback. It was absolutely great, man. But what you see, though, is after this, they get into a scuffle, and Dom ends up in the corner. We don't see this till after the match because of a camera angle. They show a replay. But Dom, he unzips one of his boots, and that's when AJ Styles puts him in a calf crusher. And Dom, Eddie Guerrero style, slips out of the calf crusher by slipping out of his boot. which was absolutely great. And he hits AJ Styles with the boot as the ref goes over to the rope for some reason. I forget why. And then he hits the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Dom Mysterio gets the win over AJ Styles. He remains Intercontinental Champion. No Liv Morgan, no Roxanne Perez. The man did it by himself. Couldn't be happier. Popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. I am a little bit disappointed about the no Liv just because it's Liv and I miss Liv. But in terms of Dom, this is a perfect way, I would say, to build Dom. We kind of have hinted or asked, hey, when do we get like the Eddie style Dom stuff? He hints at it, but we really don't get any tactics, right? Well, now you're really kind of starting to see Dom come into his own and be like his dad, Eddie. It's fantastic stuff. A solid match. I thought the match was fun. I think Dom pretty much showed that he can go in the ring with pretty much anybody. AJ Styles is obviously AJ Styles. Just overall a great match. And now you have like a solid, legitimate win for Dom moving forward. So it's like, yeah, you know what? On all accounts, like we maybe didn't get the shenanigans that we thought we were going to get, but I actually like this a little bit more than if we were to get all the shenanigans.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I love the callbacks, man. And I think AJ Styles was a great in-ring competitor to do all the callbacks. I thought that was really cool. We want Dom to be winning matches, being a heel, and this is the way to do it. Not only is he a heel, he's the only heel that he can be, which is the Eddie Guerrero side of him, right? Which is absolutely incredible. I thought the loosening up of the boot was absolutely great, and the callback with the chair shot was absolutely great. And as much as we wanted Liv to show up, as much as we thought there was going to be Judgment Day story beats within this, man, when that bell hit and he won, I was like, I'm so happy there's no Judgment Day beats in this. This is how I want Dom to win. He doesn't need to be dominating, right? He needs to scrape by the skin of his teeth, and he needs to win this way. It's exactly what I want. He now has a big-time win over AJ Styles. He is going to be talking about that for months on TV, and I can't wait for it. So, like, all props to Dom. I love every second of it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, not much more to say. It was nice to see it right before the main event, right?
Oh,
big. Yeah. I mean, that's a good sign right there.
Speaking of the main event, we're here. John Cena's last SummerSlam. Comes here as a babyface. Turned on SmackDown. There's rumors out the wazoo about what's going to happen. Is John just faking it? I mean, Seth faked that last night. Is John just, he's faking being a face so that halfway through this match, he can kick Cody in the crotch? Is Cody Rhodes going to turn heel? I mean, the conversation for 2 months has been, is the double turn coming? It might be the most talked about wrestling thing I've been seeing for the last 5 months, man. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. It's either that or the Rollins thing.
Either
one of the two,
Either that or the Rollins thing. And we mentioned at the beginning of this review, that it would be hard to talk about these matches and give you guys a full rundown of what happened. This may be the hardest match in human history to do so. Mm-hmm. This was an all-time classic. I'm just going to put it out there. John Cena, when he turned heel, we spoke about how part of that heel turn may be because John Cena can't keep up in the ring. It's easier for a heel to act slowly, do slow heel moves, stuff like that. It really helps you in the ring. John Cena still has it. He can wrestle. Tonight was incredible. We were getting fast-paced offense. We were getting him taking nasty bumps against the steel steps, against steel barricades in the crowd. He was taking chair shots. He was taking everything. Top rope leg drops. Sunset flips on the outside. This man's almost 50. His body's gone through hell, and he's putting on an absolute classic with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. It was everything we wanted WrestleMania 41 to be, 42, whatever we just had. I don't remember. It was everything we wanted that to be and more tonight, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could sit here and run through all my notes. I have a whole page of notes here. I want to hit on some of the big stuff that happened throughout the match. So throughout the match, what would you see? You would see a John Cena babyface. He would come out with all black lights, but then when the music hit again, he came out with all the good lights. He was saluting Stu. He said, Stu, do you have one more run to the ring? They ran to the ring. It was babyface John Cena all day long, while Cody throughout the match was looking at Cena like, why are you making me do this? I'm going to keep doing this, even against my will. I want to keep doing this. I have to keep doing this. So the double turn was in the air throughout the entire show. We'd spill out to the outside. They fought through the crowd. They even went to the set, below the set of SummerSlam, where Cody Rhodes did his entrance because he came out of the ground like we know Cody Rhodes to do on the big shows. John Cena and Cody Rhodes, with the smoke and the lights and everything, rose from the ashes in the set with John Cena having Cody Rhodes on his shoulder, and he AAs him onto the ramp. I mean, this thing was through the roof good. You'd have Cody Rhodes almost turning heel when he takes the bottom rope off the post itself and beats John Cena and chokes him with it. Things were going nuts. John Cena kicked out of a triple crossroads. Cody Rhodes kicked out of a super AA off the top rope. This match was spectacular. I've never been so animated. It was absolutely spectacular. It's hard to talk about. We would get to the end spot when Cody Rhodes pulled a John Cena. He goes to the outside of the ring. He grabs the title belt just like Cena did at WrestleMania 41 when he hit Cody Rhodes over the top of it. And the question was, because he stood there as John Cena slowly got up, will Cody flinch? He didn't. He goes after Cena with the belt, but Cena's smart enough, picks him up. He AAs him, picks up the title, throws it away, hits him with the super AA. That's when Cody kicks out. There's a table set up in the middle of the ring now. We go to the top rope, and Cody hits John with a super Cody cutter through the table. Cody salutes John Cena as he picks him up, hits him with one final crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes and John Cena put on an all-time SummerSlam classic. There's no double turn. It's two of the greatest of all time going at it, and Cody Rhodes walks away with the WWE Championship, and I'm popping the hell out of it.
How could you not pop it?
Dude.
There's even a spot where Cody unscrews the connector between the turnbuckle and the post, right? And the rope comes apart, and he just starts beating John with that, much like you said, John Cena. Batista, right? The double turn, I think, was the biggest question. And we didn't get that. Instead, we got the passing of the torch, the passing of the guard. And honestly, you had Cody at some points kind of losing his temper, I think, early on throughout the match. But then as it kind of went on, Cody's very upset. Like, how can you make me do this, John? Just stay down. I don't want to keep doing this to you, John. And then they embrace at the end. They hug, and you get the salute, like you said, all that stuff. I mean, just a fantastic match. It was nice to see John Cena really have kind of one more last 5-star match with somebody, right? And who else but Cody Rhodes? What better choice than Cody Rhodes to have passing of the torch? The quarterback now is the champion again. We can all cheer John Cena because John Cena wasn't playing any of us, right? He is the face John Cena. The face John Cena's back. It's hard to do it justice, I would say, words-wise. Fantastic stuff. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and dedicate 45, 50 minutes, set aside a chunk of time because it is a long one, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I had to kind of get it down to the Spark Notes version. This was like a 40-minute banger from bell to bell. I mean, absolutely insane. It was so nice to see that John Cena still has this in him. I mean, I don't think we're going to get this good of a match again from John Cena. We're going to get good stuff because that's what he is. He's a WWE superstar through and through. He's a storyteller. We're going to get great stuff. But in terms of an in-ring match, this was it. This was absolutely incredible. I couldn't be happier that they didn't do the double turn. I think Cody walks away looking like he will do anything to win the title. It doesn't matter whether or not the fans boo him or cheer him. He will be the babyface that does what he needs to do in order to keep that title around his waist. I love that Cody character. And then we didn't get John lying to us. He is a babyface. We get to cheer him for the rest of his time here. So I think we walk away with a 5-star banger, in my opinion. We walk away with Cody Rhodes with the belt, which is fantastic. And we walk away with John Cena being a face for the rest of his 5 months, 6 months he has left. I just walk away going, thank you, WWE. This was perfect. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah. The bell-to-bell stuff, even like you said, the lights, the teasing of no, damn it, John played us, and it's face John Cena. All that stuff was just fantastic stuff. I don't have enough words to kind of go on about that.
Don't leave yet, because it wasn't freaking over. It wasn't over. We get John Cena giving Cody Rhodes the belt. We get them hugging in the middle of the ring. They say words. I'm bad at lip reading. I think John Cena said something about like, we just made magic, man. Thank you. Cody's in tears about. I mean, we all understand the moment that it is. Cody leaves the ring. He gives Cena basically a thank you for the house call that they call it in WWE and wrestling as a whole. He walks away with the title. John Cena's left in the ring. The crowd's finally giving it. John Cena says, cut the music. He wants to hear the crowd one final time at SummerSlam until the music hits. No, it's not Travis Scott. No, it's not The Rock. Brock Lesnar's music hits, and the crowd goes ecstatic. John Cena's in the middle of the ring. Oh, crap. Brock Lesnar walks out, cowboy hat and all, beard and all, long hair and all, bouncing on the stage, pyro going crazy. He circles the ring. John Cena's like, crap, I got a fight ahead of me. Brock Lesnar storms the ring. John Cena goes for a clothesline. Brock gets him up. F5 in the middle of the ring. SummerSlam doesn't just end with Cody being champion. It ends with Brock Lesnar returning to attack John Cena. How do we feel about Brock Lesnar's return at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I've kind of been thinking about this, I guess, the whole review, because obviously we record these right after. Shocked is probably the first word I would use. I mean, Triple H said you ain't seen nothing yet. Well, I mean, I guess he was right. I know there's going to be a lot of backlash with this one, and honestly, deservedly so. I think understandably so. There's going to be a lot of backlash. I think WWE is telling you that they don't really care at the end of the day, and I think honestly, this wouldn't be happening if John maybe didn't. That's just going to be like a guess of mine that John has Brock on his list to work with on that retirement tour one last time sort of thing. WWE better be ready for the backlash. I know the backlash is going to be hard. It's going to be steady, as like I said, it probably should be. There's a lot going on with Brock Lesnar, just the person, right? But shocked is an understatement probably. The music hit and I lost my mind because I thought, hey, we'll never see Brock Lesnar in WWE ever again. And they were like, no, look at this. It doesn't really matter. Boom. So shocked is probably the one word I would use.
His music hit and my jaw dropped because the wrestling fan in me was like, oh my God, Brock Lesnar, that music hits, Brock's music hit. It's hard not to pop it, man. That is iconic music. He hits the F5, the emotions go away from a fantastic end of SummerSlam. And I sit back and I have to think about it for our review. And I think about it. And a little bit of me is like, I don't know what to think. I think that if they were going to do something like this, they probably should have held off for a SmackDown or something, because I think John Cena just put on what's going to be his last 5-star match. You had the passing of the guard to Cody Rhodes officially. They hugged. Cody's crying. It's the official. No double turn, no nothing. And then what do? You have to insert Brock Lesnar into it right then and there to give us this story. I'm not going to get political about it. People have their opinions. I'm going to leave it as is. We're in an entertainment podcast. We want to keep it entertaining, not get political. I just think there's going to be now two sides of this story, and that felt unnecessary to add to such a fantastic SummerSlam main event match. So that's how I leave this. I leave it with popping his music when he comes out, but feeling like, man, we really got to taint the moment and get political in a moment which should have just been celebratory, when it doesn't matter which side you're on, right? The conversation is now going to go away from just what a match John Cena and Cody Rhodes had to should WWE have brought back Brock Lesnar. And I feel like that was sort of an unnecessary note to add to what was such a fantastic end to the night. I don't know if I did a good job of like stuttering and stuff throughout that, but I'm trying to get my feelings through to all of you guys. And we literally filmed this directly after watching it, so there's no like prep time, right? Yeah. So those are my emotions right off my chest. That's how I feel about it. Brock Lesnar's back at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, like I said, I think they better be prepared for it. I think they better understand what's kind of coming their way from the public perception that's going to be there. It's going to be very divided. I mean, WWE has been on a very, I would say, divided. People are on one side or the other over the last couple of weeks with everything that's happened, right? But in terms of like the wrestling side, if you want to look at like just the character Brock Lesnar versus the character John Cena, the babyface John Cena that we got tonight, we had kind of thought, who is next for John Cena, there's nobody there. Well, they insert the next big thing, Brock Lesnar, who I'm going to be interested to see, I guess, how the crowd perceives him, especially going against babyface John. Like, I think he's going to just be booked as like that big, gigantic monster, right? So I don't really know what to think. Like you said, we do this right after. Surprised, shocked, conflicted, like all of those thoughts are kind of swirling around.
Yeah, one last thing before we close it out, because we are going a little bit long. A little bit of me thinks, I just said I wish this would have happened on a SmackDown or something afterward. Now I really think it, because we don't even get a second to breathe about John Cena no longer being champion anymore. Like, it was obvious. The music hits, he gets F5. It's like, oh, okay, so we're totally separating Cena away from the title, which, me personally, being a lifelong Cena fan, I felt like I kind of needed a moment to soak that part into it, of like, I'm never going to see John Cena as champion again. The question right after the match was, am I never going to see John Cena as champion? But then 5 minutes later, it was like, oh no, I'm never going to see Cena as champion. Like Brock's here right now. They're going with this. That's over, right? So I felt like I didn't get to breathe at all from what happened at the end of the match, which was my main gripe with the whole thing. Leaving politics out of it was just like, I feel like Cody and John earned their moment, and you didn't need to add any sort of clouding to their moment. Just let them have it. Let the cameras go off with Cena being, a baby face, Cody being champion, and us just acknowledging Cena being back into, our loving embrace, right? That's how they should have gone off over, inserting this storyline into it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think last little point, I guess, on it, there would have been a lot more questions. In terms of like, do they run this again? Like, John is the full-on babyface. Like, the match was fantastic. Does John still have this in him? Can John get that title back? Do they fight again? Like, all those thoughts were running through their head. And then, even as, like you said, you're the lifelong Cena fan. You're the bigger Cena fan than I am, but you have the realization, like, the childhood is kind of like broken in a sense, right? Like, it's his retirement tour, but tonight, at least for, like you said, maybe 5 minutes, it felt like the retirement.
Yeah, it did.
It felt like that was where the retirement of John Cena happened, was because of Cody Rhodes and this amazing love letter to John Cena's career and the future of WWE with Cody Rhodes at the helm. Like, that was there. That was that. And to have that afterwards, you're just like, oh. So, I mean, I guess now you have questions in terms of who's next for Cody, but then Cody's gone for a while. So, I mean, maybe that ends up being like a Drew McIntyre thing, but shocked. I mean, they WWE definitely looked at it and was like, okay, well, night one ended on this crazy note. We have to make this even crazier. And I would say WWE did that for better or for worse.
Don't take our tones right now as acting like the end of SummerSlam was bad. SummerSlam was fantastic. The 2-night SummerSlam, I think, in my opinion, really pulled it off. I thought this card was incredible today, let alone what happened in the last 5 minutes of the show, right? The Cody Cena match absolutely delivered. We gave it 10 pops to only 2 drops, and I think that was exactly what it was. It was a pop of a show. Thank you guys so much for stopping by our live stream. We had the most successful live stream of our existence here on YouTube. It was absolutely incredible, so thank you guys so freaking much. We will be back tomorrow night for Raw. So be there, youtube.com/COD WrestlePod. Then for everything else, at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio where you will find our TikToks. We do TikToks and TikTok live reactions. So if you missed our stream and you want to see our reactions to this crazy stuff that happened tonight, it will be there. So please follow us on all that stuff. But anyways, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.